Hey, welcome to Founders Club. I'm Alex Lagos, and today we are talking with someone who has played a massive role in shaping Nashville into the entrepreneurial city that it's becoming. Sam Davidson is the CEO of the Nashville Entrepreneur Center, where he spends every day helping founders get connected, get supported, and actually get their ideas off the ground. Before leading the EC, Sam built companies of his own. He co-founded Batch, grew it into a nationally recognized gifting brand, and navigated the full journey from startup grind to private equity acquisition. He's also written multiple books on leadership and entrepreneurship, and he's known around Nashville for being one of the most thoughtful voices on what founders really need to succeed. He really gets down to basics and really simplifies things. So today's conversation is going to go even deeper than just basic strategy, but before we jump in, please check the episode description out for links to the Founders Club app, where you'll find more content, resources, and information about our monthly events. And without further ado, let's get right into it.
Well, I guess we can kick this off. Appreciate you coming and joining us at Founders Club to talk through everything entrepreneurship. You know, big journey, I think, for you. Starting out with Batch. Was that your first company?
No, that was my fourth.
That was your fourth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I never thought I was going to be an entrepreneur, but once I started, I guess I couldn't stop. Which is that is kind of indicative of the stats, if you will. Most entrepreneurs they do it more than once.
Yeah, you caught the bug.
I caught the bug.
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah,
that
I don't know if it's the bug or I'm sure we'll get into it, but it was just the idea of, man, I wonder if my skills, my passions are best suited for the work of taking an idea or taking a problem, finding a solution, converting that to an idea, and turning it into something. Which a lot of people can do. A lot of people can be trained to do that.
Yeah.
But I never never did it until I did it, and then it was like, wait a second, this is what I like. No,
it's incredible. I think a big part of that is the community you build. When you started, did you feel like you had a good community to go into?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, so I grew up in Nashville.
Okay.
And the whole reason I moved back after college, I didn't have a job, but I had a community. And so it was one of those things of like, I didn't think I was going to go back to Nashville after I did college. Like I thought I'd be in some other city doing something.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, I legitimately didn't know what. But I was like, well, look, if I go back to Nashville, I have family there, I have friends there. Like, I'm not saying they're going to find me a job, but at least like there's a support group and there's, you know, if you got to sleep on somebody's couch or eat sandwiches, you know, you can do that. So it was sort of like okay, worst case. But it was also like, look, those people don't, you know, my dad's not going to hire me, but he may know somebody who has an opening that I don't know about. You know, it's just one of those things where, okay, my friends, my folks I knew from high school, teachers, whatever, if I can just tell them I'm looking. So yes, it was that decision was anchored in community, and then I've been here ever since. So that notion of community, I couldn't put it into a succinct phrase until about 2021. And what I say repeatedly, I was telling you, I was talking to groups earlier today, I say it anytime I got a mic in front of me, but the height of my success is directly related to the depth of my community.
Yep.
Height of my success directly related to the depth of my community. So for me, anytime that I've had any kind of success, if I'm going to be honest, it's because there were other people around. Opening the door, finding the opportunity, giving advice. The opposite's true too. And anytime I've failed, it's because I've been like, nope, I got this, man. Don't worry about it. I do this on my own, dude. I don't need that. And so that has been the through line for my life.
Yeah.
I couldn't put it into, again, and make it clear until 2021, but it was definitely true when I moved back here in 2004.
I mean, that sounds like a great perspective. I feel like I have the same perspective starting a lot of different companies and things like that. But do you ever have to remind yourself? I find myself constantly like, just if you need help, just reach out. You know? Because
look, we're human. It's natural. Pride, hubris, arrogance, all creeps in. That's just the ego at work. And so, but I think I'm maybe old enough or messed up enough that you're like, reason does take over or can take over. Where you're like, dude, every time you've asked for help, doesn't mean the first person has helped you. Doesn't mean, you know, they've made it easier by any means, but it at least means that they've made it, they haven't made it easy, but they made it easier than it would have if you did it on your own.
For sure. I moved here in 2011 and I would say like I came from Detroit. The business community here, like I was a young entrepreneur, so I'd call people and say, hey, can you help? Like, can I do anything for you? And they'd tell you to F off in Detroit. Then you come here and it's a completely different vibe.
That's right.
Almost anyone allowed me to have a conversation with them, even the highest level entrepreneurs. What do you think drives that about Nashville, and how do we maintain it?
Yeah, some of it is it's in the water. I mean, you know, Nashville is always one of those cities like friendliest city in America or whatever. So it's that southern, you know, genteelism. I don't know. Is it the best of religion and philanthropy and volunteerism, or the volunteer state? Maybe.
Yeah.
So I do think there's something about that. I think some of that you could attribute to, we have a very collaborative mindset and culture here because of the strong creative and songwriting industries. Songs are rarely, if ever, written alone. You always have co-writers. And so I think there's something about that does, kind of emanate out from that community that can infect the business community and other spots. So yeah, I found when I started my first company in 2006, we were selling, our customer was nonprofit organizations.
Okay.
We were selling advertising. Great model. Sell stuff to people who don't have money. But I found a directory that listed about 700 nonprofits in Middle Tennessee. I went to every single webpage. This was my sales strategy. I went to every single webpage. Found the name, Googled it, looked at the link, whatever. Went to their website, found the CEO, chief marketing person, development, something, and cold emailed and asked for a meeting. Couldn't find that for everybody because, again, back then, 2006, like web pages weren't as obviously good or dynamic or whatever. Not every nonprofit had one that had all the info, updated info. And I sent probably 200, maybe 300 emails. Probably got 150 replies. Took about 100 meetings. And so like that, but it was just that idea.
Yeah.
I didn't, close ratio was low, but it's a testament to that idea that I think people will say yes to one meeting. And at that meeting, if you don't show up genuine, clearly kind of able to lay out how you think this person can help you, then you won't get a second one.
Yeah.
And then they won't help you. But I think, and I do this every day in my role now at the Entrepreneur Center, when an entrepreneur comes in and sort of like one question that, hear their business or hear where they're at, I'm like, well, how do you think I can help you? And they'll mention, I'm looking for, tech talent. I'm looking to connect with investors. I'm looking to get a mentor. And again, as long as I get a sense they're genuine, business idea can be terrible.
Yeah.
But if they really do want help, because there are people that I know and people in this town that do want to help.
Yeah.
So you get the first meeting. Second one's not guaranteed.
100%. I think it's also figuring out as a young entrepreneur, how do you add value to that person? And how do you lead with that? How do I lead with, I'm going to give you some value and hopefully I get something over time later on.
Yep.
And I think that's the big thing. Now, how do you coach these new entrepreneurs on how they should approach people? I see it a lot where the ones that I coach will be like a little standoffish. They've got the excuse up front of why it's not going to work out.
Yep.
So how do you think about that and foster community?
So it's funny. I should do podcasts in the afternoon because I have like a day's worth of, because I got an email today from somebody they're trying to make a sale and they know that I'm connected to somebody who owns a company and they're like, will you introduce me to the company owner? Because I sell this thing. And while yes, that company buys that thing, the owner is too high up to make that decision. So you haven't done your research. You really need to connect, right? And it's just like you're trying to get the quickest thing, you're rifling through some stuff. Fine.
Yeah.
And they hadn't done quite the market research, I think, yet to really say, and here's my pitch. Because I'm going to introduce you to somebody, like, what are you going to say to them? Because if you, especially that's some of that, is this guy genuine? Because if you're like, man, I'm just looking for input on this business model. Is it priced right? My go-to-market strategy sound? Great. I can introduce you to a lot of people who would love to weigh in on that.
Yeah.
But if you show up and you're like, yeah, Sam introduced me. I'm here to raise $1 million, kind of a check. Like, hold on. This is not what we set up. Yeah. So for me, the only reason I wouldn't introduce an entrepreneur to someone that I thought I could introduce them to was if I thought they were not coachable.
Yeah.
And I've had that before where somebody has either told that to me, I don't think they're ready to meet with folks, or I've sensed that or concluded that. Because coachability is the number one thing that will allow you to grow your business. So why wouldn't you want to be coachable?
Yeah.
And there is data that backs that up. SCORE, a national mentoring organization, cites that 30% of business owners that get a mentor experience revenue growth in their first 90 days.
Wow.
So why wouldn't you go find a mentor?
Yeah.
To find one, you got to be willing to take that on. Doesn't mean you do everything they say. There's just a data point. But just that act of I'm willing will get you farther along than someone who's not and thinks they have it figured out.
100%. So with that, like, how do you also, so you've got the businesses coming in to the EC ready to go. I mean, that's plentiful. There's a lot of business owners out there, right? And how do you incentivize the mentors to come in and help the community?
again, conversation today. We have 155, as this is recording, we have 155 volunteer mentors who raised their hand and said, I'd be happy to mentor, to give advice. Some of those are subject matter experts. So, hey, I'm the best guy at accounting. Some are industry experts. I know everything about healthcare. Some have been entrepreneurs before. And so we try our best to match them, to say, hey, here's a young startup founder. For example, we have somebody building technology that's really an emerging, growing sector is, I learned this term the other day, age tech. And so tech for the aging population, more baby boomers are getting older, living longer, et cetera. So there's tech to help them live at home longer and things like that, to monitor certain things and medical treatment, all that. Anyway, so we got an entrepreneur building for that industry. And they're trying to connect with folks who are not tech people, but who have worked at hospice, have done palliative in-home care, because they're just trying to learn everything. They know there's an opportunity, but they really got to dig down on how that service is provided to an aging person.
Yeah.
So they're genuinely like hungry. They can read a bunch of stuff online. They can ask AI, whatever they want to. They can watch 1,000 YouTube videos, but they want to hear from folks who have been in the trenches providing that care.
Yeah.
And so that's where we say, great, here's the person who can do that. We're working hard to make sure that all of our members, we have 298 members as of today, who are monthly members at the EC. We have co-working facilities, we have meeting facilities, we do our own events. But those folks have access to those 155 volunteer advisors. And so you could, open your mailbox today, you got a letter from, the state that says you owe some new kind of tax. And you're like, I have no idea what this is. Check the Mentor Network.
Yeah.
You could say, man, I just lost my biggest client. I'd love to figure out why. I don't know what to ask them. Check the Mentor Network.
Yeah.
So that's where those folks are willing and able. Sometimes those result in long-term relationships. There's somebody I heard from, I think for 3 years now, they still have a monthly lunch, even though they finished their accelerator a long time ago. Just because they were like, we keep doing this? And usually I'd say yes, because again, man, it feels so good to be able to help somebody. And so that's how we recruit, to answer your question, is that by telling those stories and just demonstrating the need, we'll work with about 600 founders this year.
Okay.
Our strategic plan, our goal is 1,000 a year by 2027.
Yep.
So the founders are there. You know that.
Yeah.
In 2023, 43,000 new businesses applications were filed in Davidson County.
Wow.
So if we only want to help 1,000 of those, and we can help folks outside of the county as well, the market is there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of where are they going, what kind of business do they want to build.
Yeah. What are you seeing in terms of, that growth push? Do you feel like, I hear varying things about the economy, how Nashville's doing.
Yep.
Quite frankly, I see more and more businesses than ever launching and seeing success here.
Yeah.
But what do you think like the trend is there, like in terms of the business community? Are we trending towards continued growth and uptick, people moving their companies here still? Or is it going to be more local starting businesses? What are you seeing?
Yeah, and I don't think the data's been released, but I think the preliminary report year over year, I can't remember the total statewide job headcount growth, but Tennessee grew yet again.
Yeah.
And Middle Tennessee led that growth for the state. So there are new jobs being created. Just mentioned the stat about new companies starting, but anybody can file paperwork. You can go do that before this episode's over. You can go start a company technically. Can you grow a company? Can you really
Or can you run it, make
That's
$1
right.
even?
And yes, some of those are just, shell corps for whatever. And some of those are, again, it was the 1099 contractor who decided to make something a little more official. Fine.
Yeah.
Again, it's great. Who cares? That's good. So there's a difference between starting something and actually creating something or growing something, I'll say. Filling out paperwork versus being an entrepreneur. But nonetheless, as the city's population grows, there will be people who move here. And once they're here for a little bit, they're like, oh, I got an idea. I see a problem. I want to solve it. Maybe they work for a big company that moved them here. They're an engineer. They're in sales. And they're like, I can do this better on my own. And they do. Some people, they're currently running a company. They're in some other town, but they want to get to Nashville because there's more opportunity there, quality of life, whatever. So we see that a person relocates and therefore their business relocates. And we can help all those folks. We don't only help people at the idea stage or the creation stage. We help folks who've been running a business for a decade or more, and they just still want to grow and they need a little help to do that, whatever that help looks like. So Nashville's full of that opportunity. Even if you're not, and again, you know this, even if you're not selling into people who are also based here or lived here, our airport goes to more nonstop destinations than it ever has. You can get on a plane and see a client in a number of cities and be home by dinner. That's new. That's an emerging benefit to this city. But also because of technology, you can sell to clients all around the world, and you happen to be here, and your CTO may be in another city, and your salesperson may be in the third city, and your clients may be in another country. That's just the beauty of technology. But if you really have that choice, if you could really live anywhere, why would you not live in Nashville?
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I'm not even paid to sell this city, but because you could live in a small town and have a bunch of land. Fine, if that's your vibe, do it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to live and get the hustle and the energy in New York City, great, do it. But Nashville still has a ton going for it.
Yeah, 100%. Now I hate to get into this just because I feel like everyone's talking about AI.
Yeah.
But like, do you think the way that AI is playing out, that's going to have an effect on the founder community? I know for our day-to-day as a small company that we're definitely evaluating hiring less and doing more internally. So is that going to change the entire ecosystem here in the city, do you think?
It is, and any prediction I'm going to make is just going to be speculation.
Yeah.
But somebody pointed out the other day when Gutenberg invented the printing press, it's not like every job related to books and printing went away. Actually, there are more jobs related to books and printing than there were prior to the printing press. And I think AI is going to be the same. Yes, it is going to decrease the demand for certain roles, but it will be a net new job creator. There will be new jobs that we can't even imagine right now that people will be able to leverage that as a tool. Our marketing team, for example, internally has been leveraging that, everything from sort of first drafts of things to vetting strategy to pulling some best practices. It's just sort of like, gosh, it's such a head start. Why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
There's so many other things that it can do for you too. Still, you want some protocols around proofreading, and you're not just going to hit send and publish and all that
human
kind of
in
stuff.
the loop for sure still.
Well, and that's where it's like, again, that's such a small example of AI that, I'm just coming up with the thinking ways of how an entrepreneur would use it. Again, why wouldn't you? Now, you're seeing companies being created that are based on AI. Like if AI did not exist, this company wouldn't exist.
Yep.
I think there's opportunities just to train people on it.
Yeah.
When I started my first business, it was an online media platform to connect nonprofits. Told you I was selling to nonprofits with young people who were looking for volunteer and opportunities to give back. And we launched that company in 2006. That's when MySpace was awesome. Blogging was cool. YouTube just launched. Facebook only for college students. You didn't have Twitter or Instagram or any of this. And so we actually ended up kind of a little side business educating, doing seminars to nonprofit marketing leaders about social media. So I look at that now and I'm like, who's doing the seminar to, nonprofit folks in their 50s or 60s about how they can start using AI? Like that's a whole thing. That's a job. You could go make a living as a consultant, not forever. Because eventually our platform went away because these nonprofits did figure out how to use social media and how to directly connect with those folks. They didn't need to go through us. But for a time, that to me is exciting to be able to say, here's a new thing, let's go do that. We've seen that in crypto, not that that's going away, but you see that whenever there's some kind of new technology, Web3, again, social media, if you online video, you want to go back a little farther, people can leverage it. There's kind of a gold rush, and then it's a new level of sort of stasis, and there's another one. And in the end, it's always more jobs, always more companies.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way about AI. I only see it as a net positive. There's a lot of things that it can't do that most humans can do.
That's
like I was using it today. I'm like, this isn't 100% accurate, but it's a good starting point. Like we used it to negotiate my wife's new car. We got it down $10,000.
There you go. Why not?
It's like, I wouldn't have been able to do that without it.
No,
so
that didn't hurt anything for you to use that.
Exactly. And we had to go to a different dealership, in a different county, but we figured out how to save. And
that's right.
I think that's the cool thing about it is it just opens that up to where you can have a better business relationship. I think the big question that everyone has though is like that immediate point in time for these big businesses as they're starting to make changes. What does that mean for the job, like, the kind of the mid-level management jobs? Where do those people go?
I think they're going to become entrepreneurs.
That's what I think too.
I think that's at least an opportunity. Now, look, big companies are great because some of them have venture studios, some of them have venture funds, so they can fund a lot of innovation. The thing is, once you get to be a big company, and we can define big a couple different ways, but usually once you get to a certain size, especially if you're publicly traded, man, your goal as senior leadership is maximize shareholder value.
Yeah.
Do not tank the stock price. And so that's your number one thing. Your number one thing is not to innovate.
Yeah.
If innovation helps you maintain or grow the stock price, then let's innovate, baby. But until it is, that's just not. So who's innovating? It's the startups. It's the rogues, the renegades, the folks in garages and labs. And who can fund that? It can be big companies with deep pockets. That's who might acquire it as well. Because again, they're not doing it in-house. This thing's coming for our lunch. Let's buy it up and integrate it. So I think that's the opportunity for folks who may leave a big corp or may see some downsizing, which is all the more reason to be the kind of employee who thinks like an entrepreneur. And so you're coming up, you see a problem that you're experiencing because through your job, and you got a choice of, okay, I can leave and go solve it, and maybe there's other people who would pay me for that, or I can propose it and get a chance to stay and kind of innovate and create a position for myself. Neither path is guaranteed, but it's just a way that I think today's workforce needs to start thinking like an entrepreneur, even if you stay put for the rest of your career.
Yeah, and even for us, it's like cost cutting. We're starting to build our own little software, because we don't need, like a lot of times you don't need some massive piece of software and don't want to pay for it.
No.
Make your own little CRM.
Right, but see, you didn't say that because you woke up and you're like, time to cut costs, guys.
No.
You woke up because you're like, wait a second, we can be more efficient, we can win more clients, we can make more money, we can solve more people's problems if we go innovate over here.
Yeah.
And that's why you did it. In the end, it's going to save you money. In the end, it's going to win you clients. But your main goal was still to provide a product that helps people find a solution to a problem. And so as long as I can't remember the quote, but it's sort of, don't fall in love with the solution you've created, stay in love with the problem. Because as long as you're in love with the problem you're solving, I want more affordable healthcare. I want to bring broadband to the masses. I want faster cars for people. Whatever the problem is, if you stay in love, like that's where constant innovation happens, because there is never a permanent solution.
Yeah.
If you're talking about innovation, at least, there's never that permanent solution to that problem. That problem itself, because of the solution, is now going to be, here's this new problem now. Look, some people are leveraging AI because they're getting too much email. But email was the efficient solution to faxes and phone calls and letters.
Yeah.
And so hey, that got better, but wait, now there's a problem within that.
Yeah.
And so at some point, there's going to be there's too much AI or too, I don't know what the adjective is, but too something AI.
Yeah.
And there'll be some other solution to that.
Oh, and I feel that already. Like, we have our own personal assistant AI platform that we basically built just for internal. And, sometimes I'm like, is this necessary? We built it. It's cool.
Yeah.
And really, I realize the main value that I've gotten from it is it filters out all the crap email I don't want.
Yeah, that happens too.
And I'm like, that's such a simple solution.
It is. And I think that's where, when we talk about, I'm on the steering committee of the Nashville Innovation Alliance. We talk about innovation a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of times people equate, they make equal, they synonymize entrepreneurship with innovation. But not all entrepreneurs are innovative. Some just have a same old business idea, but it's been working forever.
Yeah.
Your ice cream shop, great. People love ice cream. People can always eat ice cream. You don't have to be innovative. You just got to have good ice cream.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, though, it's innovative. And to me, usefulness. Innovation has to be useful. If it's not useful, then it's a novelty, and that's recreation. And just because you're using technology to do it, in my opinion, doesn't make it innovative. But here's a useful thing. That's innovative. It doesn't always have to be technological to be useful, but usefulness is number one characteristic of innovation in my mind.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So that kind of covers the smaller entrepreneur and where they go. But now I'm seeing, I heard there was a study, they said 95% of these large companies using AI are not getting any ROI from it or something like that. And I strongly believe it's because their bureaucracy can't move around it. And so I'm wondering how, and I think they're going to innovate through acquisition is probably going to be the biggest thing, but how do they manage that interim before those companies exist to acquire?
I think, and you may see this with your clients, ROI, what is your time horizon for ROI?
Yeah.
Is it, hey, I paid the money today, I expect it back tomorrow? If so, you're going to be disappointed on most things.
I know.
Is it, this is an investment today, that I'll get back in 6 months, 6 years, figure it out. You see this at really big companies, especially the tech ones, Meta, et cetera. The investments they made probably 2-3 years ago, when those guys who are running those companies are just able to think light years ahead, they made some investments. You're like, what are you doing? And now they're seeing that ROI, and they're still putting all their chips on that kind of technology. So for a big company who's operated with big legal departments, big marketing departments, big customer departments, big service departments. That change is going to be slower because anything big is slow to move. Just a cruise ship, large aircraft, whatever you want to talk about, versus a speedboat versus other things. So size will always cause you to move slower, but size also has some advantages too. So I think based on who is leading those firms or whoever's in charge of implementing new technologies, let's just keep it broad, has got to have some time horizon with it. The longer, the better, but you can't just sandbag it. Be like, 30 years we'll make this back. I mean, based on how much it is, nobody's going to be around. Nobody's going to have that, be around in those jobs, that is, or have that kind of patience. So I think they'll see it. I think some of that is still recent news, Cracker Barrel use AI for, here's a new logo, done. That took 4 minutes. Okay, well, ROI on that
Bad
wasn't
move.
quite what we wanted. Right. I'm not.
But hey, the press on it has been pretty good.
Maybe that
for
was
them.
the plan, right? Maybe some genius in marketing was like, okay, we're gonna have this really bad logo. It's gonna hurt the price for a little bit, but people are gonna be talking about it. We're gonna be in the news for a while.
We'll change it back.
That's
It
right.
will be good.
Who knows? But that's just part of the media cycle. That again, that never would have been a story 20 years ago when you would have to rely on a newspaper to announce the new logo. Like it would have been so slow moving.
Yeah.
But that stuff takes hold so quickly and off it goes.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I just feel like the acceleration, like even trying to build stuff right now, like we have a product, we're building a software product that I think competes heavily to this company that does about $80 million and has 435 employees.
Nice.
Cool product, but we're actually innovating even faster. We haven't even launched. Like we've got more features than they have.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's just, I think the bureaucracy is going to hold them back to being able to deliver that. And so I just wonder long term, like, are those big companies or those middle level companies going to be able to survive these young, hungry entrepreneurs coming out that have 2 or 3 hungry people that can put something together?
I think some of it, an entrepreneur always needs to think about. I tell some entrepreneurs, your number one job is not to run out of money.
Yeah.
And that's true of any company, right? But especially as an entrepreneur, when
Yeah.
you're new and you're young, like every sale you're reinvesting, or if you've raised money, again, you just got to figure out how to keep money.
Going. Yeah.
Now, some of it that I learned kind of the hard way sometimes was you should be concerned about the health of your customers' companies. So, telling somebody earlier today, my company Batch, we on track to have our biggest March ever. This is right before I left to come run the EC. And then Silicon Valley Bank happened, and a lot of people were hanging on to cash, and we lost $200,000 in deals in one day. Wow. And just because those companies were like, we're a little exposed, we were canceling non-necessary expenditures for the next 6 weeks. That's what management said. And so like we were sitting there like about to lock these things in, about to celebrate. And we just, were we looking at every company who's got major accounts in Silicon Valley Bank? No, of course not.
Yeah.
But it was just that thing of, man, so to your point about this company, they can last as long as their customers last.
Yeah.
But if their customers are victims of some kind of technology, or right now it's in the news is tariffs and interest rates and things like that, that company will go away not because they didn't innovate, but because their customers went away.
Yeah.
So that's back to the size. A small company can pivot more quickly, literally turn direction, because they're smaller, so they can be faster to say, hey, we can't sell in the construction industry. Interest rates are too high. Folks aren't able to have as much cash on hand. Margins have shrunk. They got to pivot over here. Go into education, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And so when you're able to do that, because you can find that healthy customer base, then you'll generate the sales, keep the firm going, reinvest it, whatever you want to do with the profits, and keep growing that way. The last piece I'll say is I do think there is a generation, I'll say generation, kind of tied to age loosely, but there's a generation of entrepreneurs that doesn't want to get big.
Yeah.
That is like, I don't want to IPO. I don't want to sell to private equity and go work 80 hours a week as a private
work at the
equity
man, work for the
portco
man.
CEO. Right. They're like, wait a second. I've got an entrepreneur right now. He's on pace to do $2 million this year, 3 employees, software company, doing their own coding, bootstrapping it. And investors are like, dude, we got money. We're ready to invest. Take this thing to the moon. Go grow a $200 million company, 100x this thing. And he's like, I don't think I want to do that. He's got a little kid, great life, great margin company. He could run this thing for the next decade.
Yeah.
Sock enough money away, be done at 40. And it used to be the only way to be done at 40 is to go public, have a big, windfall. You got a bunch of millions of bucks, and there you go. But if he can work 30 hours a week with a product he cares about and put a bunch of money in his pockets, that's pretty good.
And I think that's what I would tell most entrepreneurs. Like, I think you have these dreams when you are starting out of like, there's going to be some massive windfall. You're going to have a unicorn type scenario. But I think the big thing is you have to enjoy what you do first, and then everything else comes after that. And I think too many get into it for the wrong reason. So I do want to ask you, like, you've seen entrepreneurs succeed, you've seen them fail, you've had your own failures and your own successes. Who should be an entrepreneur and who shouldn't?
So anyone can. I do want to make that clear. Anyone can be an entrepreneur. Should, man, that's a great question. To me, I'm going to go back to the goals. I've seen so many entrepreneurs that because they had created a company that was a sound company, they generated an extra $300 a week, and that changed their family's life because they were paycheck to paycheck, but they started putting that away. Reasonable amount of work. Don't never say everything's no work or minimal work or make money while you sleep. But like that was such a game changer. And it was a concept that they couldn't have scaled from $300 a week to $300,000 a week. But they loved doing it. It was meaningful to their family, net positive.
Yep.
That's awesome. Then there's a person who says, great, I have, that customer base and I do want to take it to $1 million, $10 million, whatever. It's just going to take something different.
Yeah.
So I always iterate. We at the EC talk about this. We're the Nashville Entrepreneur Center, not the Nashville Entrepreneurship Center or Entrepreneurism Center. We're about entrepreneur, the person, not the discipline.
Yeah.
Meaning, if that person doesn't want to put in 80-hour weeks, if that's what it's going to take to get to a big exit, and I hate to say it, but even nowadays with all the tools, big exits, meaning $100 million plus exits, however the vehicle, you're gonna work your ass off. I don't know if I can say ass, but that like there is no other way. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now you can create a $10 million company, maybe even a $50 million company, by not having to work 80 hours a week.
Yeah,
that's true. But Elon, Oprah, any of these one-named people, they had no work-life balance getting to that empire. They just don't. Empires are not built on balance.
Yeah.
And so if you want balance, good. It is better for you. You will be healthier. You will probably be happier. There is less risk. Go get balanced. You can be a balanced millionaire, 100%.
Yeah.
I've never seen a balanced billionaire.
Yeah, I always tell people, don't do it unless you have to.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Like, I have to do this. It's something that I've done since I was young. And it's just something that I need to do for me.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't feel great if I wasn't doing it. And it makes me happier even if I have to work more. So that's how I feel about it. But I do see a lot of people coming in for the wrong reasons. And, I've started a lot of different businesses. And every time I start, like, the misconception right away is like, oh, you launched a company, you must be some huge success and you have a ton of money in the bank. It's like, no, that's not how business ownership works.
Everybody would do it if that was true. I unlock the secret. What are you waiting for? No, it is. And it's, there's still a risk. So who could or who should, you got to think about your own risk tolerance.
Yeah.
There is no risk-free business start. There is no guarantee. I would say, because I have a higher risk tolerance than say my wife, I would say a corporate job is not risk-free.
Yeah.
You talk about the number, every day there's mass layoffs. You think you're safer at a major company?
Yeah.
No. Again, their impact, their loyalty is to shareholders in the bottom line. And if they have to cut a division, they'll cut a division.
Yeah.
And so now look, starting a company, is it a guarantee that you're going to make enough sales to put food on the table from day one? No, of course not. But at least you're in control of that.
Yeah.
And so it might mean you got to stay late tonight and you got to make 10 extra sales calls, even if they're all no's, because you just got to do it. Whereas if you're on the clock for somebody and the clock strikes 5,
I'm out. Yeah.
But that's what you want. And that's the season of life you're in. Great. So I think we don't talk about that enough to entrepreneurs and with entrepreneurs of, if you're in a season of parenting with really young kids that need a lot of attention. If you're in a season of, we're seeing it now generationally where you might be caring for a parent.
Yeah.
And man, society should say, totally get it, totally okay. And again, what allows you to build a business, to build a life and earn money around life? Entrepreneurship does.
Yeah.
And so again, you may sacrifice margin. Hey, I got to step away because take care of somebody else, or you may want to travel. Great, I'm going to hire somebody. So I'm going to take the money that was going to me, give it to them so they can keep the company alive. But hey, I'm going to be so happy because I'm waking up in an island, or I'm getting to spend time with my kids before they go to college, whatever the thing is. And so I think that we see it, I think, a lot. we think we see it a lot with influencers.
Yeah.
And there's some truth to that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of businesses that you can base around a lifestyle. People talk about, oh, that's just a lifestyle business. Lifestyle business sounds awesome.
Great.
Sign me up. Great. But so I think that's where we just have to have an honest conversation, and we love having those conversations at the EC where it's like, what do you want to do with this?
Yeah, that too. And I think the big thing too, like training entrepreneurs on resiliency and the art of the pivot, because my whole career has been pivoting.
Yeah.
Rarely do you start something and have it end the way you thought it was going to end.
Right. Yeah.
So
and I think some of it, again, back to that, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to address? Because you might say, like earlier story, if we pivot to sell to educational clients, I think we've got an option here. Do you want to do that? No. Okay, great. Close it up. Go do something else. So you can pivot. If your pivot takes out the passion, then you might have a challenge.
Yeah.
It might start to feel like a job. Even if you build something based on your passion, it does not make it easy. It does not make it all roses, but it does make it easier to do the stuff you don't want to do, whether that's filing taxes or hiring or firing people, whatever the unpleasant thing is to you. Entrepreneurs have to do it all. Passion can help you get through that.
Yeah.
You see what's on the other side of it. If you pivot, there's a lot of viable business models. Many of them I just wouldn't want to run.
Yeah.
Not because they're not viable, just I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And again, that's that self-awareness, self-knowledge.
yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, pivoting, you can shut a business down anytime you need to. Like I've seen that a lot. A lot of people start and then they realize it's not for them. That's okay.
Yeah, it's completely okay.
Yeah.
And that's where I think some of it could be back to our mentors, back to what would you do if you were in middle management. You can go try it.
Yeah.
Because it's if you want to drop ship water bottles, you don't have to go build a factory. You don't have to go hire a team of people to pack water bottles. You can drop ship. You can do so many other things that allow you to be a water bottle sales guy without a lot of risk.
Yeah.
And you can sort of get a taste for that. I tell, especially if I talk to college students, I'm like, go start something right now. Not an LLC, not a paperwork. Go start a Frisbee group that throws Frisbee on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Because what you'll say is like, okay, I got to recruit people. I got to call this thing something. We got to show up consistently. I got to see when the guys come. Like, hey, what'd you like? What do we do next week? Customer feedback. Like there's all these parallels that you can do at no cost on a college campus or in your neighborhood or wherever you are that give you a taste of those same things you're going to do if you're actually going to start a for real company. So there's so many things. Start a litter pickup group. Start a movie club. Start a tutoring group. There's so many things that just the art of starting that will teach you so much more than watching something, reading something. Doing always beats learning.
For sure. So that person that has that hunger and really wants to kick things off, what angle would you tell them to take right now? Because there's a lot of industries, like people are saying, don't go into software development right now, Where would you tell them to go, especially here in our city?
I would say a couple things. I'm going to base around the person. Number one, what are you the best in the world at?
Yeah.
That's a big statement. Are you really the best in the world? Whatever. But the thing that you're like, no, I'm really good at this. I think a lot of times we don't talk about our talents a lot. It can feel like bragging. But again, and it can be such a specific thing. I'm the best person who can take a complex topic and distill it to marketers to double their ROI. That's very specific.
Yeah.
Is anybody else the best in the world at that? Maybe, but you've narrowed that. So number one, if you can do that, build a business can come secondary, you'll have an opportunity in any market. So I'm not going to tell you the typical, it's Nashville, start a healthcare company. That's hard. But I think if you can build it on that. Now, what you may be best in the world at may not be the product you sell, but it may mean, oh, great, you are the best in the world at coaching up a team of passionate people to stay focused and deliver a software product.
Yeah.
Great, that's your job. Your job then is to coach them up. Somebody else can sell it, somebody else can build it. That's perfect. And there's a company within that, whether it's software or not. So I would, number one, what are you best in the world at? Number two, will people pay you for it?
Yeah.
I think I'm the best in the world at being a parent of my 3 kids, tied with my wife, of course. But nobody's going to pay me for that.
Exactly.
So
That'd be nice.
That's the nuance, right?
Yeah.
And then, what are they going to pay for it? Is that enough to make it worth doing? So I think the only industries I wouldn't go in that are industries that seem to be kind of races to the bottom.
Yeah.
The things just keep getting cheaper and cheaper. Because then if the only way you're going to win business is be cheaper than the next guy, that guy's going to come back and be cheaper than you. And you got to keep going. So those I would avoid. Some of that might be software development.
Yeah.
It might be some of these things that we've valued in such a way that now the price is coming down because of technology or because the market's saturated. So be careful of that.
Yeah.
Is what I would tell folks. And then I think, what would you like to tell people you do? So I think there are people, I knew some guys in college, they want to be entrepreneurs. And the reason was they just didn't want to work for somebody else. They would have run a Subway sandwich franchise because it was theirs. But they didn't care about sandwiches.
Yeah.
But it was just like that idea of like, I don't want to be beholden to authority. That's fine, man. That's who you are. So if you're proud to say, I run a Subway sandwich franchise, then go do that. Doesn't mean you have to have Sammy sandwiches, like a new concept that you want to franchise and be the next thing. So I think finding that thing you're proud of, because if you don't easily and passionately tell somebody what you're doing and working on, I don't think you need to be doing it. Not from a day job. Sometimes you got to pay the bills, but from a startup standpoint.
Yeah.
If you're embarrassed to say what your startup is, then I don't think you're going to last very long in that.
Exactly. 100%. So kind of in closing, I don't want to take up too much of your time here, but in closing, what advice do you give entrepreneurs in the city, and how can they get involved with the EC?
Yeah. So getting involved with the EC is super easy. You can come down and see us. So we're located near Pinewood Social in the Trolley Barns, over near Peabody Union, brand new high-rise that just went up. We've been there for 13 years, call that home. People can co-work out of there. We do weekly events. Just show up. Online, we're at ec.co. And so you can see our list of events. If you've got something to offer entrepreneurs as a mentor, click on our advisor page, fill out the application. We'll be in touch. We love to onboarding new mentors and advisors every week. If you're an entrepreneur that needs help, then you can reach out. We offer free consultations where you'll sit down with one of our staff, hear where you're at with your business idea, you're already running it, your challenges. We'll make recommendations. Sometimes we say, look, actually your best resource is not in this building, it's somewhere else, and we'll point you to that.
Yeah.
We love doing that just as much as we love bringing somebody on board as a member. So that's the easiest way. Show up, 41 Peabody or ec.co. Now, in terms of advice, I think it's what can you do today? The one thing, however small, to keep moving your business or your idea forward. So if you're in an idea stage and you're like, all right, I think I got an idea. I want to build this kind of software, but I don't have a name. Okay. And if you got a day job, you got a family, you got obligations, that's fine. On your drive in, sit there, open your voice notes, brainstorm 100 names for the company. You don't have a name of the company yet? Let's just do something.
Yeah.
Forward. You don't have to clear out your whole schedule, write a formal business plan. Just do something. I'm going to talk to 2 people who I think might need this product. Customer discovery can't be understated. So as long as you're moving that idea forward, even slowly, you're making progress.
Yeah.
You don't have to go quit your job, cash in your retirement, completely change your life before you start. There will be, you will know when it's time to do any number of those things, if you even need to do them.
Yeah.
So I tell founders, man, as long as you're just pushing something forward, you're making progress.
100%. 100%. Well, thank you for coming today.
Yeah,
we
man.
appreciate having you on Founders Club.
bet.
All right. Take care.
You bet.